January 27, 2026. Gulf of Aden, 3:42 p.m. local time. 50 nautical miles ahead of United States Navy Carrier Strike Group, an Arleigh Burke class-guided missile destroyer holds station in open water, cutting a precise line through a sea state measured at 1 to 2 meters. The ship is USS Starret, a 155-meter warship displacing approximately 9,700 metric tons at full load, powered by 4 General Electric LM2500 gas turbines, producing a combined 100,000 shaft horsepower. Top speed, exceeding 30 knots. Crew, 320 sailors. Primary combat system, the Aegis weapon system paired with the SPY-6V, 1 air and missile defense radar. Estimated procurement cost, approximately $2.1 billion. This is not just a destroyer. This is the forward shield of a carrier strike group built around USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier displacing more than 100,000 tons, carrying over 70 aircraft, and representing an American strategic footprint that extends far beyond the Red Sea. What happens to this escort ship does not stay in this stretch of water. It echoes through shipping lanes, regional alliances, and deterrence calculations from Tehran to Washington. The Gulf of Aden sits at the mouth of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a 32-kilometer wide maritime choke point through which an estimated 10% of global seaborne trade transits. Oil tankers, container ships, and bulk carriers pass within range of land-based weapons position along Yemen's western coastline. On this afternoon, USS Starret maintains a screening position approximately 50 nautical miles forward of the carrier strike group. 12 nautical miles to the northwest, another Arleigh Burke class destroyer, USS Ralph Johnson, mirrors the formation. Both ships operate as an integrated sensor and weapons network. Their Aegis systems link through cooperative engagement capability, allowing them to share radar tracks and fire control solutions in near real time. Each destroyer carries a 96L Mk-41 vertical launch system capable of firing a mix of Standard Missile 2 and Standard Missile 6 surface-to-air interceptors, Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, and anti-submarine rockets. Point defense is provided by 2 Mk-15 Phalanx close-in weapon systems per ship, each firing 20 millimeters rounds it up to 4,500 rounds per minute. The carrier strike group is transiting toward the Red Sea to support freedom of navigation operations and reassure regional partners amid ongoing tensions tied to Iranian influence in Yemen. The destroyers are not simply escorts. They are the outer ring of a layered defense designed to absorb and neutralize any threat before it reaches the carrier. The assumption is that the most dangerous phase of the transit lies ahead, inside the narrow waters of the Bab el-Mandeb. What follows is not controlled by doctrine, but by detection timelines, engagement windows, and physics. 24 hours earlier, in Sana'a, Yemen, the Houthi movement's military and political leadership gathers inside a hardened command complex reinforced with concrete estimated at more than 2 meters thick. The facility is buried beneath an urban footprint designed to complicate targeting and mask thermal signatures. A video circulates across social media channels and regional networks. It shows the aftermath of a previous attack on commercial shipping, burning superstructure, drifting debris, and a caption in Arabic and English reading, "Soon." The Houthis' anti-ship capability is built around a mix of Iranian-supplied and Chinese-origin systems. Among them is the C-801 and its derivative variants, turbojet-powered, sea-skimming anti-ship cruise missiles. Length, approximately 5.14 meters. Launch weight, roughly 815 kilograms. Warhead, estimated 165 kilograms of high explosive. Range, up to 100 kilometers. Terminal flight profile, 5 to 7 meters above sea level in the final approach phase. Unit cost on the international market is estimated between $500,000 and $1 million per missile, depending on configuration and guidance package. For the Houthis, striking a U.S. Navy warship would represent more than a tactical victory. It would signal alignment with Iranian strategic messaging and demonstrate an ability to contest one of the world's most heavily defended naval formations. The mathematics are unforgiving. An anti-ship missile costing under $1 million, if it penetrates defenses, can damage or disable a warship valued at more than $2 billion. On board USS Starret, the Combat Information Center registers an uptick in regional communications traffic. Encrypted radio bursts emanate from multiple points along Yemen's western and inland regions. Satellite downlinks from U.S. Space Force assets show unusual thermal activity near known missile storage sites. The SBY-6 radar, operating in the S-band, can track more than 30 targets simultaneously at ranges exceeding 370 kilometers for high-altitude objects and significantly shorter for low altitude. See skimming threats. Its digital beamforming allows rapid retasking between surveillance and fire control functions. Patterns in communications and thermal signatures often precede missile launch preparations. Intelligence fusion centers aboard a carrier and at U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain correlate data streams in real time. The window is closing. The decision to elevate readiness must be made before there is proof, because proof arrives at the same moment as a threat. USS Abraham Lincoln and the amphibious assault ship USS Bataan go to combat stations. For F divided by a -18E Super Hornets launch for combat air patrol, climbing to altitudes between 20,000 and 25,000 feet to extend radar coverage and provide an outer engagement layer. Each Super Hornet carries an N/APG-79 active electronically scanned array radar and is armed with AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles. Range of the AIM-120D variant: approximately 160 kilometers against high-altitude aerial targets, significantly less against low-flying cruise missiles. Airborne sensors extend the strike group's detection envelope beyond horizon of shipboard radars, which are limited by the curvature of the Earth when tracking sea-skimming threats. Detection is measured in minutes. Interception is measured in seconds. Across 6 locations in Yemen: Hodeidah, Mocha, Taz Highlands, an inland site near Dammar, a command node near Aden, and a reserve position outside Sana'a. Houthi crews complete fueling and guidance alignment procedures. C-801 missiles use active radar homing in the terminal phase. Pre-launch targeting data can be updated through command uplinks, allowing for mid-course corrections if the target maneuvers. The plan is saturation. 18 missiles from multiple bearings converge on a single destroyer, forcing defensive systems to divide fire and exhaust interceptors. From this point forward, physics does not negotiate. Thermal plumes erupt from 6 launch sites. 18 missiles lift, drop to low altitude, and accelerate to approximately Mach 0.9, skimming above the waterline. Flight time to target: between 3 and 4 minutes, depending on launch distance. 8 seconds later, USS Starret spy. 6 radar flags multiple low-altitude tracks. Vampire, vampire, vampire. The Aegis system automatically assigns engagement priorities based on trajectory, speed, and proximity. Fire control solutions are generated for standard missile 2 interceptors, which have a range exceeding 160 kilometers and use semi-active radar homing. The destroyer is now the focal point of the strike group's defense. If it fails, the carrier becomes the next layer of the equation. 18 inbound, 1 shield. USS Starret launches an 8-missile salvo of SM-2 interceptors. 12 nautical miles away, USS Ralph Johnson fires 6 more, creating overlapping engagement zones. Each SM-2 costs approximately $2.5 million per round. Acceleration pushes a missile to speeds exceeding Mach 3, guided by shipboard radar until terminal phase. This is a cost-exchange ratio measured in millions versus billions. The assumption collapses if even one missile leaks through. The sky fills with contrails. The clock reads under 3 minutes to impact, feet to extend radar coverage and provide an outer engagement layer. Each Super Hornet carries an N/APG-79 active electronically scanned array radar and is armed with AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles. Range of the AIM-120D variant: approximately 160 kilometers against high-altitude aerial targets, significantly less against low-flying cruise missiles. Airborne sensors extend the strike group's detection envelope beyond the horizon of shipboard radars, which are limited by the curvature of the Earth when tracking sea-skimming threats. Detection is measured in minutes. Interception is measured in seconds. The 4 Super Hornets receive emergency tasking. They descend to lower altitudes, radars searching for faint sea-skimming signatures. 16 ADM 120 missiles are released. Air-to-air weapons are being used in an unconventional role, intercepting surface-launched cruise missiles in the mid-course phase. This adds a third layer to the defense, extending the engagement envelope outward. The pilots are firing at targets barely above the sea surface, where radar returns blend with wave clutter. First intercepts occur approximately 40 kilometers from USS Starret. 4 Houthi missiles are destroyed by SM-2s. 3 more are hit by AIM-120s. Debris fields spread across several hundred meters of open water. Secondary explosions indicating warhead detonation on impact. 11 missiles remain. The engagement shifts to inner layers. The countdown reaches under 90 seconds. Both destroyers launch evolved Sea Sparrow and rolling airframe missiles. 20 short-range interceptors streak outward. RAM missiles use passive radio frequency and infrared guidance. Range, approximately 9 kilometers. Unit cost, estimated $900,000 per missile. This is the last missile base layer before gun systems take over. 4 targets remain. 8 kilometers. 45 seconds. Phalanx CIWS systems on both ships activate. Combined rate of fire exceeds 60,000 rounds per minute. Streams of 20 millimeters tungsten rounds fill the air. 3 missiles disintegrate. 1 remains. Electronic warfare suites deploy chaff and activate jamming systems, creating false radar targets and disrupting the missile seeker. This is the final margin. 10 seconds. The last missile veers, loses lock, and impact the water approximately 1,000 meters from USS Starret. A plume of spray and a dull flash mark the end of the inbound threat. All 18 missiles have been destroyed. No damage, no casualties, but the engagement in the air is only half the operation. While the missiles are still inbound, USS Abraham Lincoln launches a strike package. 16F divided by -18E divided by F Super Hornets, each carrying 4 AGM-154 joint standoff weapons and 2 AGM-88 HARM missiles. 8 F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters, each loaded with 8 GBU, 53/B Stormbreaker glide bombs. Total airborne precision munitions, 128. USS Bataan launches 6 H-1Z Viper attack helicopters armed with combined 48 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles and 4 H-1Y Venom helicopters carrying 80 Marine Force recon personnel. For EA, 18G Growlers activate electronic attack suites, jamming regional radar and communications. Authorization for retaliatory action is pre-cleared. The moment a U.S. warship is engaged, the response is automatic. What follows is not controlled by commanders on the ground, but by pre-planned target sets and timing tables. 32 AGM, 88 HARM missiles are released toward active radar emitters. The HARM homes on electromagnetic emissions. Speed, approximately Mach 2. Warhead, 66 kilograms. Cost per unit, approximately $300,000 to $500,000. Blinding air defenses is the first step in dismantling an integrated threat network. Within 2 minutes, radar coverage along the coast collapses. 3:47 p.m. Main strike. Strike aircraft reach the Yemeni coastline. Hodeidah Coastal Battery receives 12 SOs. Launch vehicles, command bunkers, and ammunition stores are destroyed. Mocha launcher site is hit with 8 SOs. Support structures collapse. Taz Mountain Battery is struck by 8 glide bombs, cutting access roads and eliminating equipment. Inland Dammer site is hit with 6 weapons, destroying store missiles before they can be moved. Sanaa Reserve position is eliminated with 4 precision strikes. The AGM-154 JSOW weighs approximately 483 kilograms, with a range of up to 130 kilometers when released at altitude. Cost per unit, approximately $280,000. All 6 launch sites that fired at USS Starret are neutralized within 7 minutes. The capacity to repeat the attack no longer exists. USS Starret and USS Ralph Johnson fire a combined salvo of 48 Tomahawk land attack missiles. Each Tomahawk is 5.56 meters long, weighs approximately 1,600 kilograms, carries a 450-kilogram warhead, and has a range exceeding 1,600 kilometers. Cost per missile, approximately $1.9 million. Targets include naval command centers, port facilities, ammunition depots, and leadership complexes. The strike shifts from capability removal to structural dismantling. F-35C aircraft, operating with low observable profiles, strike the Supreme Political Council complex with 16 Stormbreaker bombs. GBU-53/B Stormbreaker weighs 93 kilograms and uses tri-mode guidance, millimeter wave radar, infrared imaging in GPS range, up to 110 kilometers. Leadership targeting aims to sever decision-making chains. From this point forward, command cohesion cannot be restored quickly. AH-1Z Vipers engage fast attack craft attempting to sortie from Hodeidah port. 48 Hellfire missiles destroy 8 boats. AGM-114 Hellfire range, up to 11 kilometers. Warhead options include high-explosive anti-tank and blast fragmentation variants. Maritime strike capability is eliminated at the waterline. Escape routes close. 80 Marines insert near the Mocha site. Secure intelligence materials and extract within minutes. UH-1Y helicopters provide lift capacity of up to 10 troops per sortie. Maximum speed, 293 kilometers per hour. Physical confirmation and intelligence capture validate targeting and reveal coordination channels. The operation moves from destruction to documentation. A final strike package hits fuel depots, communications relays, and training facilities. Secondary explosions indicate stored munitions and fuel reserves igniting. Black smoke columns rise visible from offshore. Logistics and regeneration capacity are removed. The system cannot rebuild in the near term. 31 minutes after the first missile launch, the strike concludes. 48 Tomahawk missiles, 128 JSOW and Stormbreaker bombs, 48 Hellfire missiles, and 32 HAR missiles delivered. Estimated Houthi casualties, approximately 800 personnel. 8 primary bases destroyed. 6 missile batteries eliminated. Multiple command centers, radar installations, fuel depots, and naval facilities rendered inoperable. U.S. losses, none. This engagement is not defined by the number of missiles fired or bases destroyed. It is defined by the demonstration of layered defense integrated with immediate, large-scale retaliation. The assumption that a non-state actor can impose strategic cost on a carrier strike group through saturation attack collapses under the combined weight of detection, interception, and pre-authorized response. The cost ratios are stark. 18 missiles valued at an estimated $18 million trigger a retaliatory strike package, exceeding $250 million in munitions alone. But the strategic value lies not in dollars. It lies in credibility, deterrence, and control of a maritime corridor that underpins global commerce. Doctrine shifts here from reactive defense to automatic punishment. The message is not delivered in statements.